Hello, my name is Trevor Madison from Missouri, and I'm going to be presenting to you my coding and programming project, the Community Service Tracking Log. So what we're looking at right now is immediately after the user has unzipped the zipped file that contains all of the information of how to run this application, this is what they're going to see. So we have the documentation first. We'll look at this. This just kind of explains for the IT department how the application itself works. So basically what this is saying is for the makeup of the application, we have two different parts to it. We're implementing two different codes to make this work, using Microsoft Access as a back end of this. So we have SQL code that works with all the tables and queries and things of that nature to help speed up retrievals and store data in a safe place. But then we're also using VBA code for the front end to make it graphically pleasing to the user so that they can work it with confidence, even if they've never had any experience in programming before. So how the back end of the tables work. This is just a very simple database. We have two tables here that will contain all of our data using a one-to-many relationship from the students table to the community service log, saying that one student can do many different community services. So in the community service log, we have the ID, the student number, which is used as a foreign key to help with lookup values, the hours they worked, the description, and the dates that they worked as well. And then for the students, the student number, which is a primary key, their first name, last name, and also their grade. And then underneath that, right, we have queries that we use to look up the data and glean it from the table. Different hours this month so that we can filter by just this month what has happened. The total hours, which takes, it just sums all of the different total hours, and then also gives us their classification, whether it's a gold rating, silver, bronze, etc. And then finally their cumulative hours. So that looks at, that's a list of every single one that they've done. It hasn't totaled it up, it's just the raw data there. In the front end of the application, the VBA uses forms. And basically what that is it's just an easy way for the user to manipulate and enter and delete data that doesn't need. So they go into a form and then they pass the data onto the tables and they can manipulate it from there. We also have a help menu in case you would run into any kind of problems on installation, form navigation, things of that nature that helps you navigate that. Finally, we also have installation instructions, right? So just how to unzip it and things of that nature, how to get to using the application as best as possible. And finally, just a user's guide that looks at everything that the application can do. It just kind of shows how all of it works together, working through the different forms and things like that. We've also included, along with the actual application itself, a backup. So for some reason, if it was corrupted or something bad happened to it, if your data storage was compromised, you could always use your backup. So without further ado, we're actually going to look at the application itself. So we're greeted by a nice kind of welcoming message with different command buttons that go to macros that takes us to different modules throughout the application. So first thing that we're going to do is the view and edit class roster. So this is where you can actually go in and look at different students that you have, and you can add or delete people. So we're going to say John Piper, his class number of 5. He's a senior. He graduated, so we're going to go ahead and delete him. We get a warning message that we're about to delete a student. We say yes, we do want to delete him. Then we can also add people. So we're going to add Troy Madison here. He's an 8th grader, but he's coming up, so he's going to be a 9th grader. He will be added there, and then we'll also add Lindsay Holt. She's a little bit older, so we'll put her in 12th grade. Okay, so we have our students done. As soon as the cursor moves from one student to another, that data is already passed down to the table, so we can look it up in underlying queries and things later. And as always, we can always delete the student, which will cascade deletes and help save us space underneath. So we can also add service hours. We're going to go to that form next. And this is really where the power of it goes. So over here on your left side, you have the ability to choose the student that will be doing the volunteering that you're going to put into the application. But the really great thing about this is it's a dynamic combo box. So you can select a student here, and you can only do it from the list that is in your class roster. So that helps maintain data integrity. So we're going to choose Theo Epstein, and just by clicking on the first name, by using VLOOKUPs and if-then sequences, it goes ahead and fills all the other fields. So we have the day, he volunteered today, he volunteered for 7 hours, and his description is he picked up baseballs. Okay, we're going to go ahead and commit that and log another volunteer event. So we're going to say, okay, we're going to volunteered that. Okay, next person we're going to choose is Troy Madison. He's going to go there, and we're going to try to do something different. We're going to try to say that he did this in the future and see what happens. So today's the 24th. We're going to say it happened in the 25th, and then we get an error because we can't log something that happened in the future because that's impossible, right? So we're going to say it happened yesterday. It's the 23rd. He volunteered 6 hours picking toys in his room because his room is very messy. So we're going to go ahead and log another event, and then it goes ahead and commits this back. Also, you'll notice our computer ID right up here is on an auto number counters, so that it's a primary key and is never replicated. That again helps to just quicken up queries and things like that, and helps data integrity. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to look at our different reports. Then yes, we know that we have a null value. We can't say that we know that. Okay, so we're going to go to report navigation, and we're just going to first look at our class roster, and we see this is using the query that comes up to the reports. So we see that Troy and Lindsay Hull have both been added here at the bottom. We can also look at the hours volunteered this month. So we have a query that's filtering off of the date. It's only happened a month ago, so we can see how those things are going. Also, total hours, right? This is just summing everything that we have, and the award, right? Like Theo Epstein has over 100 hours, so he's gold. Thomas is over 35, so he's a bronze. Then we can finally finish up with cumulative, which shows everything, and we can close the application, and we know that everything has been saved and backed up successfully.